Hello and welcome to Shedcast, news and discussion from across the tabletop. I'm Pete, your host, and I've got Roger in the shed today.
Hi.
Who's been to Warhammer Fest 2016 over the weekend and has got some amazing photos for us to look through and have a chat about. This episode is about Bloodbowl, what we've all been waiting for, and we've got a really good view of the teams, the pitches, and what we can expect in the new version of the game. So I thought we'd just plough on in.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Have a look at these pictures. Okay, great. So before we show the photos, just to let you know, some of these are in display cabinets, so there's a bit of exposure, a lot of light on some of these. So Roger's done his best to get some really good pictures, and they're
With my phone.
yeah, with your phone, and they're all really good pictures. But just to let you know. Okay, so here we go. So we'll start off with the pictures, I think.
Yeah. So first up, this is the human pitch. Games Workshop have actually decided to make the pitch double-sided, so rather than just getting one pitch that everyone plays on, like the grass one you got before, you actually get two. So this one is the human one, and in the picture, of course, you can now see the templates as well.
Oh, yeah.
So the big long one going diagonally across there, that is now the range template for throwing the ball.
Oh, you can see the laces on the different balls.
Yeah.
Along the range ruler
the
indicate the difficulty.
Yeah, indicate how hard it is.
Okay, that's cool.
And you can see the little star template looking one.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I believe, the ball scatter template. So if you miss, or kicking it or throwing it, you roll your d8 and then scatter it based on the result there.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite sure what the other one is.
I think the final one is the throw-in template. So it's a 1 to 6.
Yes, it looks like
And that's
that
for
is.
when the ball goes off the side of the pitch and the fans kick it back in.
Yeah.
Which always happened to me because I played Norse, and Norse cannot throw or catch.
And as you can't see it probably that clearly, unfortunately, but there are the little markers where all of the squares are. The pitch dimensions are near enough the same, but the squares are now bigger than they were before, as before you always struggled with your big guys to actually fit them in the squares. Although the number of squares by each direction is still the same, so you can still use your old pitch if you want to.
So the pitch is the same?
Yeah, the pitch is the same in squares by squares, but it's a bit bigger because of the square increase in size.
Okay, cool. Should we look at the next one then?
Yeah, let's move on. So this is the one that they actually custom made when they were playtesting everything, and looks really cool.
I'm guessing this is orcs.
Yes, this is the orc one, and you can see the orc shambly looking dugout there. And this is the one they actually based the orc pitch off of, which you will see in a moment.
I don't think I've actually got a picture of the orc pitch, but
Oh,
this
okay.
is a...
So the orc pitch then was actually done based off of a render of this. So they captured the image and put it onto the pitch.
Okay, so it
this
looks...
is now on the reverse of the human one.
Excellent, okay.
And that's where you get in the core box.
Cool. Okay, let's have a look at the dugouts.
So this is now the human dugout, as you can see, much the same as before, with things like re-rolls and your turn counters, as well as your subs box, KO'd and dead and injured.
So it looks like it's still 8-turn structure.
Yeah, it
and you've got your re-rolls and everything. So we're getting a bit of a hint that the rules are largely unchanged.
Yeah, I had a good word with James Hewitt and Andy Hoare when I was up there, and apparently the core mechanics of the gameplay is staying very similar.
Okay.
It's mainly going to be, the main change is going to be in how the seasons play out.
Oh, cool. Okay, let's have a look at the orcs.
So again, this is now the reverse. So the orc side, as you can see, that looks much more haphazard and orky.
It's really good detail. Those rocks that the numbers are painted on actually look like they're standing out of the card.
Yeah, it's very cool, and they're actually both double-sided.
Oh,
so
okay.
You don't get one of each. You can flip them and have them both looking either human or orky if you want to.
Oh, okay. So you could have two orc teams fighting. You'd need some more orc miniatures, obviously.
Yeah, you would. But
okay, cool. Great. Right, so I think next we've got a look at the dice and some cards.
Yeah, here we can now see the cover of the new Blood Bowl rulebook.
Mm.
In the core box, you don't get the campaign rules exactly as before. Actually, you only get the core rules of playing a standalone game, and they will be releasing a expansion again called Deathzone, like before.
Oh, okay.
And that will have the rest of the teams, and as well as that, it will have the new rules for campaign play.
Excellent.
So the big difference apparently before, where campaigns could just go on and on and on, it's now going to be broken down into seasons.
Okay.
So you will play a season,
Mm-hmm.
and you will get X amount for winning or placing wherever you do. and you can carry some over to your next season to give you a slight advantage, but most of your players go off and do their own thing afterwards.
Okay, and it looks like they're kind of adopting cards instead of necessarily sort of tables and things.
Yeah, so you get random event cards now, which is nice.
Okay.
So you've got something more physical, you don't have to keep flicking through the book.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see in the picture, the actual block dice themselves, I believe is what they were called, still look very much the same.
Yeah, still got your skulls and splats.
Yeah. Blocks, pushbacks on there.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a new dice.
Yeah.
There's the odd looking dice that looks a little bit like a D10. It's actually a D16.
Yeah, interesting.
Which presumably is used for things such as the kick-off table and perhaps injury tables.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So again, going to be very interesting to see how that fits in.
It's interesting that the numbers are actually sequential on the sides of the die as well. You don't normally get that on a die.
That is quite unusual.
Interesting. Okay, well also we've got some of the star player cards.
Yeah, so again, some recognisable names for those of you that have played Blood Bowl before. The two that we can see here are Morgenthau and Mighty Zug, both been star players for as long as I've been playing Blood Bowl.
Yeah, you're kind of standard guys, good fullbacks.
Yeah, so it's nice that they've got cards, so if you do want to use them in your team, you can just...
That's handy for star players.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and you can see we've got the same stats, and we've got pretty much the same skills as well. So again, looking at those, movement, strength, agility and armour value, it's exactly the same as before. And again, the special skills, block, loner and mighty blow, all in the original game. So those of you who are hoping that it wouldn't change too much, I think our hopes are coming true. Yeah, I think it looks like it's going to be largely the same, which is really good.
It's a bit of a relief for me. I was a bit worried they'd mess around too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that the game will stay largely the same. Normally, when you get a new edition of a game, they kind of fiddle around with the rules,
make changes.
Yeah, and with fantasy, obviously, we had Age of Sigmar come out, and my thought was, are they going to change the rules so it would be strength 3 up, agility
more Age
3
of
up,
Sigmar based,
that kind of thing?
Well, again, I asked them whether they were going to set it in the Age of Sigmar world or in the old world as we know it. They're going to continue with how the original Blood Bowl was, in a slightly comic version of the old world. Okay. So they're not moving it to Age of Sigmar, so we will have all the old races. Okay. So that's good.
Oh, that's good.
So a bit of a relief again.
Okay, right. Excellent. Good to know. Right. I think it's time we have a look at the teams and the miniatures, because these look awesome.
Yes, they really do.
Yes. So we've got the Orc team.
So yeah, the first pictures of the Orcs. They actually will be coming in the green plastic. They're now, so they can make them a little bit more dynamic, coming on 32mm bases rather than 25s.
Hence why the border's a bit bigger.
Well, that, and because everyone always had the problem with their big guys not fitting on the board.
Sure.
And also, you may notice the little holes on the front of their bases. That is actually now for the ball to go in.
Oh.
So rather than just balancing on top, you can actually peg the ball into the base when they have it.
Thank you, Games Workshop.
Again, yeah, it's a very nice touch by Games Workshop, but the sculpting quality is phenomenal.
Yeah.
As they've now been handed over to the specialist games team, who are dealt with by Forge World.
Okay.
And they have lived up to expectations, I think, there. Those are some exceptionally good models.
Yeah, you can see the thrower, a few linemen, I assume, at the back.
Guessing those bigger chaps there are going to be Black Orcs.
Yeah, interesting. They look really good. And so the Orcs come in green, and we'll see later on that the humans come in blue, and that's so you can kind of get them out of the box straight away, and they're in kind of team colours. Yeah,
as a board, so you can play it as a board game if you want to. If that's your thing, if you're not into campaign play and just want a fun board game, you can play it straight out of the box.
Brilliant.
Nice and easy to tell them apart.
Okay, right, I think we've got some painted miniatures. Yeah, these are in a display cabinet, so a little tricky to see some of the back ones, but you can see just how good those plastic figures actually get painted up. I mean, the quality of those.
You can really see the detail on them.
And they've got gouged eyes, so you can see they're going with all the kind of the favourites.
A lot of the core teams are staying the same, although apparently a lot of the teams named after places or individual cities have gone away a bit. So they may mention Reichland, but they don't say the Reichland Reavers are based in Altdorf anymore.
Oh, okay, right.
They've
interesting.
To leave that bit.
A slight digression.
Yeah, so it's an obscure fantasy world based on the old world, but not quite the same as the one that happened in End Times.
Okay, and here are some tokens.
So yeah, obviously now come with all of the tokens. I'm assuming the round things are going to be used as coins to see who goes first, so you can.
Yeah, and maybe the others will be your turn markers, or
yeah, I'd guess turn markers and maybe re-roll counters.
Yeah, and you've got a couple of a spike ball and
a squig, which is I think they've made thematic balls based on teams.
Brilliant.
Very cool.
That's good.
So who doesn't want to play with the squig?
Oh yeah, you've got to have the squig
Everyone
ball.
wants to.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Right, so that's a good look at the orc teams, and I think you'll agree that they look pretty savage.
They do. They've made them look very beefy, very angry, and very orky. Lots of haphazard armor plates rather than the clean, smooth designs that elves or humans might use.
The original orcs always look like they kind of pinched their armor off the human teams.
They do.
They kind of fit, tried to fit them on.
A little bit clean.
yeah.
Whereas
That's
now they
good.
look far more haphazard.
Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at the human team. Sorry, I'm just working the computer here. Here we go. Right. In blue plastic, as we said.
Yeah. So you can now see they're in blue. The models, I think, are again fantastic sculpts. So the three chaps you can see at the front are linemen.
Okay, so the linemen have the kind of
sort of punch daggers, knuckle dusters.
Wolverine claws.
So yeah, that's you can see the catcher at the back, which I think is a fantastic model, and later you might get to see a better shot of that.
Yeah.
And the thrower looks very reminiscent of the old one.
Yes.
He is in that classic throwing pose.
Yes, absolutely.
Although the catcher now no longer has the oven mitt.
Okay.
He has a slightly more practical one.
That was always a good one.
Yeah.
And the chap at the back, is that another lineman, do we think?
It could be an alternative sculpt of the lineman.
Okay.
Could be a blitzer, although we might see more in a later shot.
And you were mentioning something about resin.
Yes, the models that you're seeing here are just the plastic ones that come in the core box.
Yeah.
But they will be releasing resin add-on packs that give you extra models, alternative sculpts, different poses.
So are these multi-part?
To a degree, I think there's a few bits, but they might be doing different packs to upgrade them as well, they were saying.
Oh, cool.
So you might be able to get different helmets and things.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, let's have a look at some painted ones.
So here we have a bit of a bright shot of the
Yeah,
humans.
yeah.
However, again, you can really see some of the detail now.
Yeah, picked out by the great painters.
Stitching and the armour plates and the straps. I think they're very nice models again.
Absolutely. And your favourite, I think.
My personal favourite, here we have the human catcher.
Yeah.
Actually asked him to bring him out of the cabinet for me so I could get a shot. And I think it was worth it. I think the pose on this guy is fantastic, rather than the guy holding up an oven mitt.
yeah. It's actually got the ball in his hand, which is good.
So again, fantastic. And I like where they've even adjusted the armour, so when he's stretched up, his armour's moved up.
Yeah. No, it's really good. The pose is dynamic. He looks like he's actually in the midst of the game. Really good. Really just excellent quality.
Yeah, fantastic quality models.
Let's have a look at the human tokens then. So a similar kind of looking set.
Similar sort of thing.
Yep.
And again, slightly more traditional balls for the humans rather than...
Yeah. A few iron-bound ones by the looks of things or something. There's spikes.
You always need more spikes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bloodbowl needs something, it's more violent.
And a nice eagle head there for the humans. Cool. Okay. I mean, those figures are absolutely excellent. I think you can see that what you get in the box is top quality, and we're really seeing that a lot from the Games Workshop box games. The kind of standalone games that they've got. The Warhammer Quest box set looks ridiculously good with the quality in there.
I had a good look at that while I was up there.
Yeah.
Very good quality models.
Excellent.
And when I asked about the price of Bloodbowl, they said probably less than you think.
Really?
So hopefully it's not going to be up there with £95 like Warhammer Quest.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's going to be more like 65, 70.
Oh really? That's interesting.
Hopefully, that's just speculation, but they did say less than you think.
Okay, because...
So I would have guessed before £90 for this.
Okay.
So hopefully...
that's good. Good
again,
news.
Relatively good startup cost.
Yeah, I mean, my fear of it going to Forge World and Specialist Games was exactly that. I mean, you'd get some really good stuff, but the price would go up.
So yeah, I think they're going to have all of the entry-level bits as plastic, so you can make it cheap and afford to play it.
Okay, and then the resin extras.
If you want to go extra, you can by buying the resin.
Okay, cool. And we've got a last few bits here, which are kind of a little sneak peek of kind of behind the scenes, I suppose, kind of their
Yeah,
progress.
this is a few things that they were showing off before when they were making concepts for Blood Bowl.
Hmm.
So here we can see the original human sculpt and original orc sculpt, which were just knocked together to show what the sort of thing they wanted. And again, I think they've done a really good job on them, and I think you can see a lot of that in the finished figures.
Yeah, it really captures. I mean, the orky guy, you can see this the spiky armor and stuff, and then the human. They do look a lot like kind of American football padding, just a bit medievalified, if that's even a word.
And a bit more aggressive looking.
Yes, yeah. No, that's cool.
More intimidating.
Yeah,
So,
it's interesting that they had these kind of things there, so you could kind of see the thought that went into it, the progress that they've made.
And a nice thing, it's due for release by the end of the year now.
Originally
it was supposed to be next year, but things have gone well, they said. So we should have Blood Bowl before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year, so we all know what we're going to put on our Amazon wish list for Christmas. Excellent, that's cool. Right, we've got one other little tidbit.
We do.
Which I believe is not secret, but slightly special. And it's a bit of a preview of everybody's favourite, the Cage Masters themselves, the Dwarves.
Yeah, so they were actually nice enough to show off a 3D render of models that are going to be coming out as part of an expansion to Blood Bowl.
Brilliant.
So before the core game's even released, we can already see some of what's coming up.
Excellent.
And again, the dwarves look fantastic.
Absolutely.
The dwarf armour looks very sturdy and very practical, exactly how you think a dwarf would do this.
Yeah. Slight geometric element to the lines a little bit.
Yeah, so less of the sort of strapped on armour plates of the humans and more just metal.
Yeah. Heavy metal.
Yeah, the dwarves do like wearing lots of metal.
That looks like it's in some sort of binder of...
It is. This was just a photo that was in a ring binder that they had on display.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw dwarves, I went straight over.
Oh yeah. It'd be interesting to see if the dwarf team has a bit more depth to it than... I mean, you don't need a lot more depth for the dwarf team. It's just block, tackle, build your cage, march down the pitch.
Dwarves cast fist.
Yeah.
And can take a hit like no one else.
Yeah.
They do have a lot of armour.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Some of the guys are going to the Blood Bowl tournament at Warhammer World.
That should be
this
good.
weekend.
The Warhammer World tournaments are excellent now.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they've changed how they work. I don't know if you know that.
No.
Rather than being based on number of victories or victory points, now it's favourite game votes.
Oh really?
So to stop people taking the most horrific armies they can think of, the beardy list, they take thematic lists and fun lists.
Oh, okay.
And so, having been to some of the tournaments myself, I can now say very, very good fun to go to.
Oh really?
A big change from the days of trying to think of the most horrifying list you can and taking that.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, in the past, a lot of GW tournaments have turned into.
They have. I stopped going to them for that exact reason.
Yeah.
But the new style, I think, is a move in the right direction.
Brilliant. That's cool. Well, hopefully they'll have a lot of fun. And I've asked them that if they see any more special, secret, behind-the-scenes bits and bobs for the new Blood Bowl, to share those pictures with us, so that we can share those with you, and you can see everything that they will have seen as well. And hopefully we'll get a few shots of their games as well, just to kind of see how the tournament went. So that should be interesting as well. Cool.
So yeah,
okay.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm very much looking forward to Blood Bowl.
This looks like an excellent set, a really good starter set for people to get back into Blood Bowl. It's about time they brought it back.
It is. It's well past time.
I'm hoping there are one or two slight differences though.
I think it's going to be a bit tidier than it used to be. So I think a lot of the more tedious things are going to be streamlined to make it a bit more gamer friendly.
Okay, yeah, that would be good. I think if they just released it exactly the same as before, I'd feel a little bit like, well, I've got a pitch and a team, I'll carry on playing with those.
So
but
Deathzone
the new miniatures
is definitely going to be worth picking up, because that will have that's the add-on. They'll have all of the extra teams in there, so all of the new rules for them, and all of the new campaign play.
So that'll be next year, presumably.
Deathzone, they didn't actually say a timescale on that.
Okay.
However, they've already started working on some of the teams like the Dwarves, so might not be that far away.
Maybe they could do a bit of a staggered release with some smaller bits, and then a big Deathzone
I wouldn't
release.
be surprised if Deathzone itself doesn't come out that soon after.
Right.
And then we can look forward to more teams coming out in the future.
Yeah, excellent. That sounds cool. What about Dungeon Bowl?
They didn't mention anything about Dungeon Bowl. However,
Oh, come on, Dungeon Bowl!
I would love to see Dungeon Bowl back again.
Oh, that was a fun one, wasn't it? I'm not sure who thought of that one, but yeah. I'm not sure how well you can throw in a dungeon. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so I think you guys will agree that Roger's done a really good job in capturing all of those images for us to give us a little insight into the new Blood Bowl game. I think this looks really exciting, excellent. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on this. I'm sure Roger and I will have a few games.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, and we'll be bringing that to you guys as well. And who knows, maybe we'll set up a campaign with a few seasons or something, and we can try and televise that as well.
I can see this being a very popular game.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much everything we've got for Blood Bowl, isn't it?
That's everything we have.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us. We hope you found that informative and interesting. Please like, comment and subscribe. Check out all our links below, and we will see you in the shed.